This is Arie Kumbawale, and you're listening to the Soaring Wings Show.
Hey fans, thank you for tuning in to the Soaring Wings Show on the W-insidr network. I am Arie Graham at WNBA Love on Twitter and at WNBA_Love on Instagram.
And of course, this is Dorothy J. Gentry on Twitter and Instagram. Glad you guys are here.
All right, so, the Wings didn't make it to the playoffs, so this will be our final show of the season. It's a little sad, but we have some good things to look forward to in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, so, but first, let's go ahead and give our thoughts on this season. First, I'd like to say that, it was a great foundation laid by Coach Agler this season. I know that he spoke to us specifically about how the entire season has been a learning experience, dealing with, a young group of players, and it's a little bit different. He's used to preparing for the playoffs around this time. It's been, 4 seasons since he hasn't prepared for the playoffs. But I think the one major positive that I have from this season is just the continuity that we saw from the team.
Okay.
Like throughout, they finished the season with 10 wins, but you could tell that the women were a lot closer in the locker room this season. Like I said, there was more continuity. They, stuck together through the adversity and continued to fight and try to find ways to win. It's just that, even on the final game on Sunday, you could still see Agler coaching play to play.
Yeah.
And, that's something that, it takes time for things to get there to understand what he wants, what he's trying to do, what he's trying to implement. And I think that was the most difficult part of the season. Inconsistency would be my biggest negative of the season. If they were able to kind of catch on to that a little sooner, which is difficult given the injuries and the suspensions. But overall, to me, it was a great foundation laid. What about you?
I tend to agree with a lot of what you said. When he was first hired back in December, he talked a lot about building a culture and laying a foundation and creating. He wasn't even talking about on the court. He was talking about just in general, a culture in the locker room, a mindset of winning. And I think that is what happened this season. The wins and losses, record 10-24, they finished with, doesn't speak to what we saw, the intangibles, off the court. As you said, the cohesiveness within the team and the locker room and the players. There was some inconsistency also, as you mentioned, throughout the season. It's like, okay, so you're just going to beat the Connecticut Sun and then lose to the Atlanta Dream. It's like, Connecticut Sun was the leading team, at that point, and the Dream were the lowest team, and so it's like you beat one and lost to the other. It just was just some weirdness here and there with the team, again, that inconsistency. But I like what I saw from the team, as you said, the oneness and the sticking together and the fighting for each other and fighting for those wins and just kind of coming together. They were a very young team. We already know 4 rookies. They suited up how many players? I ran out of fingers counting the number of players they suited up, this season, with the injuries and everything. So, as Coach Agler told us, it was a learning experience, most definitely. And but I think for what they had to work with, they did well.
Yeah, another big thing too, that road record being 2-15, only getting those 2 wins on the road. For the life of me, I could not figure out what it was that prevented them from winning those games.
On the road.
Sometimes there would be games where they would get completely blown out, and other times it would be close. When they had the dust up in Phoenix, they ended up winning that game, but it had to come with a lot of controversy. There was, they stuck together through adversity once again. So I'm hoping that, building for next season, they'll be able to find more consistency, especially on the road, because I feel like that's what hurt them the most. They played fairly well at home, almost an even record at 8-9. And, it was just a good show at the College Park Center this season. But on the road,
if they had won even 6 road wins, they probably would have been in the playoffs
Right.
at 16 and 17 or whatever, 16 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they definitely have to fix those road roles going forward.
Yeah,
for next season.
It was my a little bit of a tradition that we have here in my home.
Yeah.
Whenever the Wings were on the road, we'd have Wingstop.
Oh, cool.
I don't want to kind of make fun of the name or whatever,
Yeah.
but we'd order the
Paying
wings,
homage. Yeah.
and instead of celebrating, we'd be eating our fillings.
Oh, I love it. Eating the fillings. I hear you. Lemon pepper.
Gotta have that lemon
Yes.
pepper. But I'm looking forward to what the team can do next season, and I really think that the future is bright for the team.
I do too.
Given the players that are returning from injury, the opportunities in free agency. One of the things that we discussed the WNBA needs to work on is having those contracts available. Like, we don't know who's gone, how long someone stays, if they're, able to go via trade. Like, we had no idea Liz Cambage's situation with that. Like, she had just signed an extension, but how long was it, and how did they make that work? Like, we know everything to the penny in the other leagues, but not with the WNBA. So I'm hoping,
so maybe that transparency is coming.
I hope so. New commissioner, new leadership.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get more into that later. But right now, at the time of recording, it is September 10th. Yes. Rookie of the Year has not been announced.
Right.
But
that means they don't know it.
Right.
Doesn't mean they don't know.
Right. Yeah, the ballots were due yesterday.
Yes.
So they're being counted up. And I looked it up. Like, Asia Wilson was announced exactly a year ago today. So it'll be coming any minute now.
And she was unanimous, too.
That's wild. It won't be like that.
I doubt... there will not be a unanimous Rookie of the Year this year. You can bank on that.
No, I don't think so at all. But, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, Arie finished top 3 in scoring. So it's like... And
that's league-wide, guys. Make sure you know that. And she was right up there with the front runner for MVP.
And Brittany Griner. So it's like, it's tough just because, she wasn't as well-rounded as Collier was, but she did have less of a supporting cast.
Right.
So we talk about the inconsistencies just a minute ago. Like, that was always there. And people say, oh, well, she's taking X amount of shots per game. But if she doesn't, if someone's having an off night, like, who's going to do it? Like, she was continuing to find ways to score, continuing to find ways to evolve into playing point guard,
adjust her game. And I mean, she picked up her assists late in the year. And the last 2 Rookies of the Year, 2017, of course, being Alicia Gray, and then Wilson on last year, they both led their categories in scoring, led the rookies in scoring, that is. Arie is leading the rookies in scoring and the league in terms of them being number 3, so they have that in common. Asia and Alicia, isn't that funny? Alicia, Asia, and possibly Arie.
Hey, Triple A,
right? Exactly. They led their rookie categories, in different, assists and steals and blocks and all of that. And Arie is leading in a couple of those categories and is in the top 3 or 4 in the others. So we've already stated our case for Rookie of the Year. It'll be named any moment now, and then we'll just move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. Hopefully everyone will calm down online, just because things got really, really heated.
Really personal.
Yeah, and I don't know if that goes back to the UConn Notre Dame thing or whatever, but my goodness, it was rough out there on Twitter and online. It's like every time there was a comment about Arie, someone had to jump in about Nafisi. It's like, there could be positivity for both of them.
Right.
Like, they both had outstanding seasons.
Both did.
I mean, even like Jackie Young and Tiara McCowan, it was a really good rookie class this season.
Exactly.
And, those just happen to be like the top 2. And it's like, come on, guys, like, just relax.
Right. It got a little ugly, a little nasty.
Now,
but
I'm not going to lie. I'll be a little sad if Arie doesn't accomplish it or, win it.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and curse Collier because she did a good job as well.
Exactly.
So hopefully, we can find that continuity in regards to Rookie of the Year.
Most definitely.
All right. So moving on to who do we think will return this season? We currently have 15 players on the roster.
Right.
There's opportunities in free agency. the draft.
And right, we have the 2 picks.
Yeah. That's going to be wild.
Exactly. So maybe they'll use those picks. They may save those picks and use them as some leverage to try to get some veteran talent in here as well. You never know what's going to happen. So I would say at the most 5 or 6 ladies may be gone.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, tough decisions are going to have to be made.
I hate to start calling names. What do you think?
I mean, we don't
let you call names first.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to. Like, I'm getting the feeling that McGee Stafford will be out. I'm hoping not, just because you can't teach 6'7", and we need more size in the middle to be able to compete with the Cambages, the Grinders, the big lineup in LA.
Exactly.
Like, you can't get rid of that.
Delani and all them, right?
Yeah, all of them. It's just, I really think we have plenty of guards. We need more players on the wings, and more players inside to be able to compete with the top tier.
Right. I agree. Yeah, I'm not sure about Imani. I would hate, if that were to happen.
Yeah. She's been a light for the squad, a light in the community. Like, her and Kayla Davis have been like huge pillars in the community this season. And, Megan Gustafson, she has a huge following. So it's like, and we have Anigwe, she had a short amount of time to develop under Agler's system. Right. I really think that she can continue to develop and
to get a full training camp.
Come
in, for a full season. I think we'll see more. She was a top 10 pick as well. She's number 9 in this year's draft for a reason.
Yeah.
So
we had 3-star rookies on the team. So I think, if Agler wants to, we can continue to build off of that. But, it's really going to depend who's going to come back healthy from the off season.
Right. We have Mariah, Azaray, and Taylor. Diggins Smith. Like, we have no idea what's going to happen with a number of these players. So I think a lot of it we probably won't find out until 2020. Right. We got to see who survives EuroLeague play, and that's the sad thing to say. But ladies got to go make their money, but you never know what's going to happen on the court. Like I said, we don't want to name names. I really think we should try and get Plaisance back from the Sun. My heart has been hurt since we traded her away, but that's another position with size, and she was good on the outside. She was influx in the starting lineup, but you just never know what's going to happen. And I'm not sure about what Agler is going to want for next season, but I think we do need more veteran leadership on the team. Definitely. That could help with the road roles. Some of those close games this season that we lost in the last minute, it's like, wait, the Wings are up, and now it's 30 seconds left, and you're down 6. What happened? Some of those close games, I think, with veteran presence there, we could have, they could have pulled them out. Yeah. So
either way, I'm excited about next season. I have already renewed my season tickets. Wow. And I wasn't going to, Dorothy. Like, really? I wasn't going to.
Why
and
not?
then
What's going on?
First of all, I'm not the richest person.
Oh, right.
But beyond that, it was a tough season. Even though they played well at home, I was just thinking, like, what if there's a lockout, or we have no idea in regards to the future of the league. But I broke down and did it. Like, that last home game, you see I got on my autographed jersey that I'm going to get framed. Like, there's a lot of different perks that goes with being a season ticket holder. So fans, just go ahead and do it. It's worth it. I broke down and did it. It's totally worth it. You got the payment plan. I'm on that.
Hey, do what you got to do. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just looking forward to what we can accomplish next season. So
I think it'll be great. The coaching staff, was great that he brought in, Crystal Robinson, of course, Aaron Phillips still there, his son, with player development, Bryce Agler. So they have a pretty solid coaching staff. So the future looks great for the Wings.
It really does. Great. And in regards to the future, we had a visit from the commissioner.
Yeah.
Dallas was the final stop on her 12-team tour.
Right, Kathy Engelbert.
Yeah, saving the best for last. Yeah. What were your thoughts on your meeting with the commissioner? What was your vibe?
I think she's listening. I think she's open. She appeared open to what people had to say, to the media. The questions that we were asking, she didn't seem to shy away from any of them. Her answers were her answers, and that if they were true, I don't know. They were just her answers.
We're going to find out.
But And then she held a town hall with the with Wings Nation, with the Wings season ticket holders, and answering their questions and whatnot. So I mean, I thought, from my first impressions was that she seemed open. She's more visible, I think, than our past president, because of course the commissioner title is new this year. Mm-hmm. She seemed open. She seemed friendly. She seemed like she was listening and on a hunt for information, about what people think about the league, not just the media, but the fans, the ticket holders and the stakeholders and all of that. So I was impressed. Yeah,
I was too. Like, in interacting with the past presidents, like, you didn't get the feeling that they were really invested in trying to, they talk the talk of trying to expand the brand and, make things happen, but you didn't really see a whole lot as far as sponsorships. And I think that Engelbert has, like she mentioned at the town hall, that she has those connections to bring in those major sponsorships.
Right, the corporate.
And that, sports is business. Mm-hmm. And she comes from running a business. And I think that her acumen is going to be something that's going to take this league to a next level. I mean, just in meeting her, I can already see that she's not just talking to talk. Or
I agree.
I almost feel like the past presidents were being fed what to say.
Right.
From Silver.
I agree.
And, it was different with her. So I'm really excited. And she told us that she was confident that, she would come to an agreement with the Players Association. Right. Things would be worked out with the CBA prior to the start of the 2020 season.
Right.
That was another reason why I wanted to go ahead and renew my season tickets. But...
And just right quick, just throwing this in because you mentioned Adam Silver, he's the commissioner of the NBA. Mm-hmm. And she's the commissioner of the WNBA. So, I think that title change may have also helped change the position of the head of the WNBA, again, to be able to leverage those relationships and those contacts and things like that. So I see some openness right now, and hopefully it will continue.
Right. Hopefully she just wasn't being open just to do so,
on her tour, kind of PR thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she knows how to work that as well. But like I said, I didn't get that vibe from her. But I'm looking. I didn't either. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does. Like, I'm excited. So we want to thank you for listening to the Soaring Wings Show on the W-insidr network. Mm-hmm. Arie Graham at WNBA Love on Twitter, at WNBA_Love on Instagram.
And this is Dorothy J. Gentry on Twitter and Instagram. Speaking of the commissioner and her visit, I got a chance to talk a little bit one-on-one with her, and I asked her about Arie. She had some pretty interesting comments. Let's take a listen.
I wanted to ask you about Arie.
Yes.
You're new to the league, of course, and so is she.
Yes.
What have you seen from her, as a player, and how she's exciting the fan base, not just here in Dallas, but just all over?
Well, and that's what, Arie now, of course, I followed her because my college basketball coach, Muffet McGraw, now coaches at Notre Dame. She coached me at Lehigh, and obviously I followed Arie the past couple years with her two buzzer beaters in the Final Four 2 years ago. And, obviously she brings such a talent to this league. She brings an energy, she brings a capability, a style of play that I think is fabulous, and that's why people are drawn to her. Fans are drawn to her. She's a role model. I know I've heard her talk about Muffet, and Muffet really building life skills, not just basketball skills, in her players. And I think Arie is a great product of having played for Muffet for 4 years and coming out with great life skills and personality, and again, a style of play that is fun to watch. And if we're trying to broaden our fan base and attract our fan base, Arie is someone to come to watch.
So that's some pretty high praise from the commissioner for Arie, and I like how she likened, her performance as one that needs to be seen, not just in Dallas, but again, around the league as they, try to broaden their fan base. So we will see.
I absolutely love Arie's play. It's been exciting. It's been an exciting infusion, and it's good to see it from, a guard. We get a lot of praise for the bigs and the forwards, but to see it from a guard, a rookie, it's been wild. And she's going to be so amazing as she continues to grow her game. And
I say a future MVP. I'm calling it now. I say a future MVP.
It's on tape, y'all. Future MVP, Dorothy J. Gentry.
Yes.
So let's get it. All right, so let's go ahead and go around the league. Postseason is upon us. Playoffs start tomorrow, 9/11. And we've already had a few awards announced. We got our peak performers.
Right, the WNBA, they announced the Peak Performer Awards in scoring, rebound, and assist. And no surprise here, the scoring average award went to Brittany Griner. She averaged 20.7 points in 31 games. This is her second scoring title. She also led the WNBA in scoring in 2017 with 21.9 points per game. She also tied Jonquel Jones for the top spot in block shots this season. So, 6-time All-Star Griner is always good, for some points. You know what I mean? And again, she's number 1 in the league. Second was MVP frontrunner EDD. And Arie was number 3. I just want to throw that in there.
Once again.
And then for rebounds, we had Jonquel Jones. Now, Jonquel was my MVP candidate this year at the beginning of the season, and so she averaged 9.7 rebounds. That's a lot in 34 games, and this is her second rebounding title in only 4 seasons. So Jonquel, she's been doing the darn thing. In 2017, she averaged 11.85 rebounds per game, the second highest single mark in league history. So she's had a pretty good year, an awesome year. She's a 2-time All-Star. And on May 31st this year, she set a WNBA season high and matched her career high with, get this, guys, 22 rebounds. Is that even possible? Well, I guess it is because she did it. Yeah, she did wild. It. So with Jones, the Sun, of course, have earned the number 2 seed in the playoffs and a double bye into the semifinals. So they won't play till the 17th.
Right. Yeah. That's, the players are on a roll. The teams are on a roll. I feel like we discussed this in our previous podcast about how the buys could potentially hurt these teams. And it's like, messing up that rhythm. But I think, that's what the coaches are for, to kind of maintain that consistency in their performance. But, I mean, you had Jonquel Jones as your MVP candidate.
I did.
But it's hard to argue with Lena Deladon.
Oh, my gosh.
Making history with the 50, 40, 90. I'm like, how do you get 97.4 in free throws? Like,
how?
She getting close to 100%?
Man,
like, what's up?
And she got love from all over the NBA. I mean, she had Steph and Dirk and everybody, tweeting at her and was like, wow, giving her major props. So, yeah, go ahead and give her the MVP, y'all.
That's crazy after all these seasons that it had never happened before.
Right.
But it's like, whew.
Right.
That MVP, that's a done deal.
Exactly.
All right.
And then the last award was the that's been handed out so far is an assist, and that's Courtney Vandersloot. She had a record-setting season. She earned her 3rd consecutive award for assists and her 4th overall. So she's a little assist person, I guess you could call her. She averaged a WNBA record 9.1 assists in 33 games. She broke her own record of 8.6 assists from last year that she set last year. She also set the WNBA single season record for total assists with 300, shattering her own record of 258 from 2018. So she was breaking her own records this season. And of course, she's a 2-time All-Star, and she had at least 10 assists 12 times this season. So shout out to Courtney Vandersloot.
That says a lot about the teammates she has around her. Yeah. The fact that she's been able to do that for a number of seasons. Right. And even when the Chicago Sky had been down, they've been missing the playoffs. This is really the first time that they actually have like an official chance to try and gun for that championship. I mean, again, the one and done could potentially be dangerous. Not getting the opportunities to be in the buys. But their ultimate goal, their first goal was to get into the playoffs. And I think those numbers prove that she has enough consistent scoring around her that makes the Sky very dangerous in this playoff picture.
Right.
So, playoff picture is set. Like we said, it starts tomorrow, the day after we're recording the show. And, I mean, who's your pick? Who's going to win it all, Dorothy?
And it's so funny because at the beginning of the year, my pick was the Sparks. I just thought with all of the talent and the sisters and then Candace, and I just thought it would all come together, new coach and everything, and it would gel. They made the playoffs. So, Now, the Mystics. Mm-hmm. Who in the world is going to stop the Mystics? Mm-hmm. I even thought at one point the Aces were going to reach the mountaintop, but they slid into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. On a losing streak. Mm-hmm. And their seeding continued to go down. But I just all the pieces have come together for the Mystics. Last year they were right there. Mm-hmm. This year it's theirs. It's theirs for the losing,
right?
Not the taking, for the losing.
For the losing, mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, they have had one of the most beautiful offenses mm-hmm. this season. They're one of the deepest teams. Mm-hmm. You take those starting 5 out, you put the other 5 in, and they don't drop off.
Right.
The scoring keeps continuing, and then that second unit mm-hmm. is even better defensively. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what can you do? Save for an injury like what happened last season. Hoping nothing like that happens, but that's the only way that I could see the Mystics not getting this championship.
Exactly.
Ooh. So it's thick season, like they've been saying all year.
All aboard the Mystics train.
Yeah, it's theirs for the losing. So I'm glad we're in agreement on that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got our picks. We've made our case over and over for Rookie of the Year. We'll see how it shakes out. We talked about the future. I want to thank you guys for rocking with us this season.
Tuning into the Soaring Wings Show, W-insidr Network. We want to give a special shout out to Jasmine. What's up, Jasmine? Thank you so much for your support and your belief in us.
Right,
thank you.
Right. At We Got Game 2 on Twitter. Make sure you guys following her names on her Twitter handle have been hilarious.
So funny.
Always funny. She's
somebody's fan account, somebody's something account.
Right.
Yeah.
The links, social media, audacity.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, no, she's been a great follow all season. And just thanks again for believing in us. And then also for the Insider for giving us the opportunity for a host. We started off on Dash Radio. Things didn't really work out, but we were able to rebound and make sure we were able to provide a consistent show for these Dallas Wings for you guys.
Shout out to you, Arie, W-insidr. Make sure you follow them as well. Thank you.
Yes. And like we said, it's not only us. There are plenty of podcasts out there, different shows that showcase the different teams. You can continue. Make sure you are following W-insidr for the rest of the season. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to take a pause just because the Dallas Wings are no longer in it. But just make sure you guys are giving them a follow. And make sure you also stay with the Athletic WNBA because there's still plenty of postseason coverage, not just the playoff teams, for the teams that did make the playoffs as well. As we look at, teams going overseas, we got the lottery, coming up in a few months. We got draft, we have women's college basketball, basketball. Possible picks. We have USA basketball. We have the CBA negotiations. So there's still a lot out there. Make sure you stay locked and loaded with the Athletic WNBA as well. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Athletic. I know that, starting off when they came out with the WNBA portion of it, that you guys were receiving a lot of flack for the fact that, you had to pay to read the content. Subscriber, Right, but it's been some amazing things out there, guys. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not the richest, but I have thoroughly enjoyed my Athletic subscription. I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming out with the rest of the sports. Yes. Like you said, it's going to be a very busy off season. Yes, most definitely. And the Athletic is going to be the place to do that. You can't necessarily find the consistency that you need from WNBA.com. Things kind of drop off in the off season, but I feel like the Athletic is going to be there. So just take the moment to subscribe. You guys are always having discounts. Discounts, most definitely. So, and it's so worth it because our stories, some people say, I don't see a story from you every day, Dorothy. Well, because the stories that we do, we go more in depth and it takes a little longer, to research, to write them and all of that. So the Athletic WNBA, the Athletic, just in general, please follow and subscribe if you can. You'll get some great coverage, guys, some great stories. Yeah, it's been awesome. So, tell the fans a little bit more about what you got going on. Don't stop with Dallas. What else does Dorothy J. Gentry have going on? The Dallas Mavericks is getting ready to start. This will be my 4th year covering the Dallas Mavericks. I'm so excited for another season. We got Luka. We got Kristaps Porzingis. And it's going to be a pretty good team this year. And then also the G League, the NBA G League team, the Texas Legends, I covered them as well. They have a new coach, and they just came off of being named the franchise of the year.
for the G League. So some good stuff going on down in Frisco as well. So I'll be busy with NBA and G League coverage. I'll still have my pulse on the WNBA off season with all the things we just mentioned. And hey, you know where to find me.
Right. And just for me this offseason, I'm going to continue with WNBAlove.com. I know it was something that I started a few years ago. It kind of dropped off, but I'm planning on remaining more consistent with it just because I think that it's important to get the fans' voices out there. Yeah, you know, we're loud on Twitter, but it's really important to me to get more of those stories out there. So guys, just, you know, send me a DM. I want to share your story. I want to know how, you know, you fell in love with your team or, you know, who's your favorite player and things like that. So, you know, we're not going to keep quiet. You know, the podcast or the show may be over right now, but we're still going to be good follows.
Make sure you keep a follow of WNBA Love and Dorothy J. Gentry on Twitter and Instagram.
Again,
you never know what you're going to find.
Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. It's been awesome.
We appreciate it.
See you next season.
This is Arie, and you're listening to the Soaring Wings Show.